Hi everyone, Steve here. A few people have contacted me to make a video specifically about this topic, and I'm going to be completely frank with all of you. I've never done anything like this before. This is my first time, so if this is good and you like it, I'm happy to pump out more content like this. If this is just a terrible atrocity and tragedy, I will stay clear of the videos in the future, so just let me know in the comments. But we're going to be going over why outsource design. When does it make sense? There's a few scenarios where outsourcing a design would make sense, and scenario number one is you're an entrepreneur, right? You want to design to manufacture something, but you have so many hats. You're just wearing so many hats, and you need to prioritize your abilities. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're the accountant, you're the marketing manager, you're the sales manager, you're the operations manager, and also you might have to be the engineer. No one wants to be the engineer when you're owning a business. So what are your options? In most scenarios, a business owner won't take the time to learn an engineering tool, which makes absolute sense. I think that's the right decision. There's so many other things you can do with that time. So you're either going to have to hire someone full-time or outsource for the design, right? Hiring someone full-time, it may be a little expensive, especially if you're starting out your new business. If you just need a patent drawing out, to get to the next phase or get that VC funding, or you need a, prototype, iteration 1, 2, it may not make sense to hire a full-time engineer for that task. If you have the money to do so and a bunch of, ideas, that's going to be the more cost-effective route. But, if you fall into most people's category, then it might make sense to outsource for at least for the short term. It's going to be a lot cheaper, and you're going to get to market a lot quicker also, So that's just an example for an entrepreneur. Second scenario, and this is a very, very common one. Imagine you're a business owner and you have a bunch of engineers in the whole suite. I'm talking about SolidWorks, AutoCAD, Creo, you have FEA, all these fancy rendering tools, whatever, right? Why would you ever outsource? Well, before and now, pre-COVID and post-COVID and during COVID, whatever, it's all the same, right? There's just a little more volatility, a lot more volatility now. Delays cost money, right? A delay can be experienced for whatever reason. Maybe someone gets sick, maybe something gets screwed up along the process. The more people you have that are accountable for something, the more likely there's an error that's going to happen. Maybe someone quit, whatever. We're not going to go over all the scenarios, but delays do happen all the time, right? And they do cost money, whether that's in the form of losing one of your best customers, whether that's in the form of not having your thing out on the shelf and someone else, beats you to it, especially in the medical market. What are you going to do, right? Is Jeff or John, over there at the office going to take over, stop doing everything they're doing, start pumping these things out? You'd be shocked. A lot of companies do that, but it hurts things in the long run, right? It hurts the overall productivity, and it hurts the overall outcome. Outsourcing could be a perfect solution in this case, even though you have a full staff. Let the expert deal with this one thing while your team focuses on what they're doing all the time, and everything could be good. Another example is restaffing / finite number of staff. So like I said, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Everything is extremely volatile right now, and you don't know, how many projects or what's going to happen in the future, that there's going to be. For example, let's say you get like 2 or 3 new projects and business starts picking up, but is that going to be 3 projects a month? Is that going to be 3 projects a quarter? How do you quantify that? Is it going to be 3 projects and then I don't know what happens, right? So does it make sense to hire a full-time engineer if you're getting more work? No, not at all, right? If you're confident that you're getting more work, but not for the long term, you just don't know. It's going to save a layoff in the future. So hiring, an outside company to do this while you figure things out, with your client or with the internal business, that can make the most sense in that scenario, especially cost-effective wise, right? Another example is you get a new exciting contract, and this is my favorite, right? You get a new exciting contract. What if it's like super advanced, right? The customer wants X, Y, and Z. No, I can do that, right? but they also want A, B, and C, right? I can't do A, B, and C. They want renders. I don't have rendering software. They want finite element analysis. What is that, right? Most people say yes to more opportunity, or at least they want it, but they don't know how, right? If you don't have the skills in-house to do something, absolutely, it's best to hire an outside person to be able to do it, to at least get that chunk of change into your pocket. Or, for example, you're a sheet metal company, right? And some guy calls for a plastic injection molding part. Still want to get that chunk of change in your pocket, so it might be good to hire an outside person. You're not going to get the full value for it, but at least you're going to have more choices and more options for your business and employee, and build more trusted relationships, if you can take on jobs that maybe you couldn't before. You're not getting more staff on this. You're hiring an outside company. They're going to do it on your deadline, but on their time. And that could open a lot of doors. Finally, accelerators and incubators, very, very popular, especially over here in New York City. A lot of these companies that are working in co-working spaces, they want to be the next Tesla or Uber or, name popular company here, Apple, whatever. But they're just starting out. They don't have a lot of budget. They're competing against 4 other companies that are doing the same thing. And finding a full-time engineer might just be expensive or just hard. How do you know someone's good? I could write, I know finite element analysis on my resume, but I've only done it 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? It's how do you test that until you know it's a bad decision? It's very tricky. So what a lot of these accelerators and incubators can do, they provide resources for these companies. They can offer X amount of design service hours for X amount of money recurring per year, cover most of the costs while a few a little bit of the change comes out of the tenants, or cover the whole entire cost. And it's going to help that incubator and the tenants get a competitive advantage before it becomes a competitive necessity. Time to market is everything for both the tenants and the accelerator as well. It's how all of the money comes in. I don't have to explain that further. So finally, why KingCAD? There's so many engineering companies out there. What makes us special? Why would you use us to outsource your designs? Well, the first thing and the most important thing is working in this industry for years, all throughout, like architectural, mechanical, electrical. The biggest thing that I found out personally is that it's not a 9-to-5 job. How many times have you heard, oh, I need this yesterday? When do you need this by? 2 days ago. They're really breaking my back over this. I have an example. A lady called us at 7 p.m. She needed 3 drawings pumped out by 11:59 p.m. We would never do a job if we couldn't do it, and we could do that one. We said yes, and for sure at 11:50 p.m. she approved everything, got everything, and was happy, and sent her email at 11:59 p.m. and got something good out of it. Finished the project over in time. Her customers were happy, she was happy, we were happy. So we're more than happy to work, before 9 or after 5 because we get it. We've been in the business for so long. Things happen, things get screwed up. We'll be that lifeline for you. Another reason why KingCAD is the optimal choice for outsourcing is because our design expert is a CSWE. For those not familiar, SolidWorks, it's one of the biggest, if not biggest, CAD company in the whole entire world. And this certificate is only owned by 0.01% of people, 2/3 of which work for SolidWorks, 1/3 of which work for companies like KingCAD Solutions. These people can basically grind out everything very, very quickly, faster than the average engineer, and deliver a product that works, most likely on the first attempt, and according to all of your specifications. It's going to be less back and forth, if that makes any sense. We also have a CSSP, that's me, SolidWorks Sales Professional. I used to work selling SolidWorks software before. I met with over 100 different companies. I am a business owner also, and I understand, a lot of the critical business issues that people face. I'm familiar with not all of it. I learn something new every day, but with a lot of it. And I'm confident that we're going to be able to help you out with most things, right? Like not everything, but most things. And finally, Brooklyn, baby. We're local in New York. Not many people can say that, especially with a lot of people moving out of the city. But yeah, we're over in New York. We're happy to work with people in New Jersey. Maybe even Pennsylvania sometimes, and the whole entire New York, territory as well. So if anyone wants to work with us or wants to give us a shot, we're more than happy to talk to you. And understanding your line of business it's the most important thing for us. It's your vision. We just want to be able to expedite and make it happen for you. Finally, why now? Simply, you're just losing money every day that designs are delayed. I launched a product that was my very own, with a combination of two other people just a few months ago. It's called In-Ring, and we got delayed for, it was just like a huge undertaking. We were very, very eager. We got delayed by about a month, and that month did lose us, not money directly, but we could have done, something else during that time. We could have done a lot of other things, and it just breaks my heart to think about what all of those things are that I could have done with that time lost. I hope that makes sense. I don't want to keep rambling. But yeah, just think about what you could do with your extra time. Why now? Why wait? Right? What's it gonna cost you directly or indirectly? What if someone beats you to it? Right? But yeah, that's it. That's the end of my webinar. I hope that it helped. And if you really do like this, more than happy to cover any other topics. Thank you very much.